In this video, we're going to talk about social media strategy for real estate agents in 2022. What should you post? This video is all about your social media strategy in 2022. Hey everybody, Katie Lance here, founder and CEO of Katie Lance Consulting, the Get Social Smart Academy, and author of the book, Get Social Smart. It's episode 262 of the Get Social Smart show, and today I'm so excited to share with you a few tips, tools, and strategies for what you can post if you are a real estate agent. Tip number one, start with your pillar content. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago, this idea of creating content that's in your voice, that has your opinion, that has your personality, right? Social media is rented ground. We don't own it. So it's really important when we think about what to post on social media that a big part of your content is from you. It's your content in your voice with your opinion. And video content is one of the best types of content to do that. So you might wonder, well, what topics are we talking about when it comes to pillar content? I encourage you to think about what are the questions you get asked all the time. Think about the last 3 to 6 months of clients you've worked with. Make a list. And then right next to their name, write down some topics that came up when you were chatting with them. Maybe they were renters and they weren't sure about getting into the market. Maybe they had to sell a house before they could buy a house and they were concerned about that. Maybe they were relocating. Maybe they were investors. Maybe they were thinking about buying a vacation home. Maybe they were stressed out about moving. All these things that come up in conversations, these are great topics to create content around, especially video content. You know, when you create a library of content, what's so awesome about that is that's content you can share today, but you can repurpose and share it again 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 12 months from now, and it really helps to build your credibility because it's content in your voice, in your opinion. The second type of content you should definitely be posting in 2022 if you are in real estate is inspirational or funny. So oftentimes this type of content we think of as like fluff, right? Like what's the point? Why should I share like a motivational quote? Aren't a lot of people sharing that? Yes, there are a fair amount of people who are sharing motivational quotes. We also see a lot of people sharing memes or things that are funny. But the business reason behind sharing inspirational or funny content is it really helps you to become more relatable. It really helps you to become more relatable because when you post that type of content, what's happening is, you know, it's an easy thing for people to like, to comment, to engage on. And so I recommend that you don't just post something inspirational, randomly. Think about what inspires you. One of my favorite apps to create inspirational content is WordSwag. I love WordSwag. It's like an oldie but goodie. It works on iPhone but also Android. You can open up WordSwag and there's a whole quote library. So you can look for something funny or happy or whatever your mood is, and then there's a stock photo library so you can create something that really speaks to you, and you can add your logo, and so now you're creating a great piece of branded content. Now when it comes to funny content, funny can be a little tricky, right? We don't want to offend anyone. We don't want to be polarizing. I can tell you from experience that the best way to be funny is to turn the joke on yourself, right? Look for funny moments. Look for things where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this. And it might be slightly embarrassing, but it's also funny because it's relatable. You know, a lot of times in social media, we see like the most edited version of everybody. So make sure with your content that you share not just business stuff, but you layer that in with things, real life things, right? Which I think is really important. The third thing to post in 2022 are more stories. I want to see more stories from you. So a lot of times I see agents and brokers sharing the facts, right? Here's a brand new listing, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, open Sunday 1 to 4. And that's great, but honestly, I could get the facts anywhere. Tell me something interesting. What's going to get me to watch your 2-minute video about your listing? Maybe tell me something interesting. What's the story behind that kitchen remodel? What's the story behind that pool they put in the backyard? If we can kind of incorporate stories into our content, it really does make a big difference. One easy example is the next time you work with a buyer or seller. At the end of that transaction, instead of just saying, hey, close another one this week, what if we said something like, I I just had an opportunity to work with an amazing client. I can't wait to see what's next for them. Or here's a snippet of their story, right? Here's what they came to me with, and we had this challenge, and then we did this, and then this happened. And it's a lot more engaging when we can tell a story. And so that's one of the reasons why I love seeing the uptick in people using Instagram stories and Facebook stories. It's a way to connect with people who are already connected with you, right? It's a way to kind of bring people in and just really give people a sense of who you are and what you're all about. So again, a story doesn't have to be something tragic. It doesn't have to be the most inspirational story, but it's giving an example, and people tend to lean in. They tend to listen when you're telling a story. So tell more stories in 2022. All right, tip number 4 is community content. This is something that's not going out of style anytime soon. Shine the light on your community. And this is especially important if you are new to a community. Maybe you just relocated and nobody knows you and you've got to jumpstart your business. Maybe you're new to real estate and you don't have listings, or just in general, you're trying to really plant yourself in your local community. So highlight and shine the light on local businesses. And there's a number of ways that you could do this. You could brainstorm a list of your favorite coffee shops and boutiques and hair salons, the places that you love to go. You can make a list of those and then intentionally, once a week or once a month, do a post on social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, about that business, right? Why do you love them? Why are they so great? Tag them, let them know that you've given them a shout out. That's one thing you could do. You could also do a video about them. You could even take it a step further and reach out and introduce yourself and say, hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm a local realtor, and we are highlighting a small business every month, and I'd love to know if I can interview you. And oftentimes they'll say yes, whether it's in person, you could even do a Zoom interview, you could do a Facebook Live, and now you've got someone on camera, right? So you might start with just posting and tagging and giving some of those local businesses a shout out. But again, you could take it a step further and really get people on camera to hear their stories. I think about in our academy, we have a Get Social Smart Academy member, Eddie Campos, who's been doing this for years. He's got a great series called Coffee with Eddie, and he's been able to interview so many great leaders in his town of Toledo. And it's been a really great way for him to make those connections in his community, but also to shine the light on what's happening on businesses and local leaders. And so it's such a win-win. So don't forget about your community content in 2022. Okay, type of content number 5 that you want to focus on for 2022 is promotional. So yes, tell me about your listings, tell me about your open houses, share your testimonials. All of that is social proof. And I think sometimes when we hear folks talk about social media and real estate, we often hear like, don't post listings, don't do this. And if that's all you're posting, then I think you're missing out on a big opportunity. But part of your business is showing that yes, you are successful, that you do love what you do, that you're good at what you do. And so when you talk about the other pieces of content that we shared today, community, inspirational, funny, educational, when we layer in all of that content with promotional, things that have to do with your business, new listings, under contract, just sold, open houses, it's a really great balance, right? It's a really good mix, because now all of a sudden you're someone who is successful and you're good at what you do, and you're also really helpful and likable and relatable. You're not just the person who just talks about your business all day long. We all have friends like that, right? Who only talk about business, right? And so having that balance of content in 2022, that's the name of the game. All right, so I would love to hear from you. What questions do you have with social media? What's your biggest pain point? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're listening to this thinking, okay, I really need to get a handle on my social media strategy, I would invite you to check out our free resource library. If you go to katielance.com/freebies, katielance.com/freebies, you can check them out. There's lots of great free resources for you to download. By the way, if you're watching this over on YouTube, we'd love if you'd hit the subscribe button and the bell button, because we have new videos that come out each and every week. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye for now.